evening. Welcome to Grandma's Attic Music Review. I'm so happy to be with you tonight. Oh my goodness. You know, I tell you guys about the Connecticut Blues Society Blues Challenge a lot because I pull a lot of musicians from it because Connecticut definitely has a plethora of wonderful blues musicians. Well, you've seen these guys before. They competed again in the solo duo challenge, and of course I had to ask them to come here because once again they are absolutely amazing. They went to Memphis last year to represent Connecticut, and they're here today to represent themselves and play wonderful music for you. I'd like you to help me welcome into your home, into your living room, into wherever you're watching from, the Coffee Grinders.
This is a classic blues song by Skip James called Hard Time Killin' Floor.
Hard times ahead, no matter where you go. Times are harder than ever been before. Oh, you know that people they're drifting door to door, can't find no heaven. I don't care where they go. No, 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 no. Can't find no heaven. Don't care where they go. That's right. Look out. Knocking on the wrong door. If I ever get up off this old killing floor, Lord, I'll never get down this road no more. No, 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 no. Never get down this low no more. That's right. I ain't getting down so low. If you hear
is an original number called Brown Patent Shoes. Hello out there in TV land. It's the blues coming at you, Delta style. My baby wear my brown patent shoes. When I see my baby wear my brown patent shoes, I got some money in my pocket, but I ain't got no time to yeah, I thought my baby looked good, kept me satisfied. But I was wrong. I lost my baby and my brown patent shoes. Ain't got my baby or my brown patent shoes. Now I'm all broken barefoot, that's why I'm singing these blues.
Reverend Wilkins called Prodigal Son. Those people at home, put your hands together. Come on. Well, the poor boy took for the bread, headed down the road, yeah, headed down the road. Gonna head down the road. He went out in the world, God only knows. That'll be the way to get along. Well, the poor boy lost all he had, famine swept the land, yeah, famine swept the land. He lost all he had, famine swept the land. Said, I believe that I'll go work for some man. That'll be the way to get along. Well, the man said, I keep a job for to feed my swine, yeah, for to feed my swine. Keep a job for to feed my swine. Well, that poor boy, he just shook his head and cried. 'Cause that ain't no way to get along. Said, I believe, alright, I believe I'll go back home, yeah, I believe I'll go back home. I believe, alright, I believe I'll go back home. Down the road as far as I can go. That'll be the way to get along. Well, the father said, I see my boy coming home to me, yeah, coming home to me. See my son, he's coming home to me. Said, praise the Lord, fell down on me. Have mercy. Well, the poor boy stood there, had his head unclined, had his head and cried. Poor boy stood there by his head and cried. Said, Father, will you still look at me as a child? Said, yeah, boy, you're my son and I love you. Come on, say it, Frank. Well, the father said, eldest son, kill the fatted calf, call the family round. Kill that calf, call the family round. My boy was lost, but now he's found. Yeah, that'll be the way to get along. Get along, everybody, come on. That's right. Stop it, Shirley. Love you, brother. Love you, Dave. Get along. All right. Frank's going to switch up his guitars. Now we're going to do a little Texas style from a number of ZZ Top did. And we do it coffee grinder style. That's the way we roll.
So, for anybody asking at home, this is a guitar that was made in 1925. It's first Hawaiian. This guitar was the same model that a Blind Willie Johnson played. So, if you don't know who that is, go look it up. He's representing us in space as a basically. What's the name of that?
Voyager.
Voyager. That's correct. So here we go. Jesus is of Chicago.
know Jesus left Chicago, went down to New Orleans. Hey, hey. Jesus left Chicago, went all the way down to New Orleans. Yeah. Hey, hey. Went from one end to the other, all points in between, yeah. That's what he did. Yeah, don't you know that he jumped the Mississippi? Muddy water turned wine. Yeah. Jesus jumped that muddy Mississippi, yeah. Muddy water turned fine, fine wine. Yeah, turn it to holy water. That's what he did. Went out there to California, see the forest and the pine. Yeah, take me with you, Jesus. You know I like California. That's right. Might not see him in person, but he sees you just the same. Yeah, yeah. Might not see Jesus in person, yeah, but he sees you just the same. Because he's looking out for you. You don't have to worry. Taking care of business is his game. Yeah. Yeah, look out for me, Jesus. Look out for all of us sinners.
Thank you. So we're going to do an original tune, something I came up with called Mississippi River Strut. And this is a Piedmont-style blues, which basically, Piedmont-style blues is from the East Coast, the Carolinas, the Virginias. And it was, its main players were Blind Willie McTell, Blind Blake, and Barbecue Bob is another one that basically played this style. So anyway, I'd like to basically say hello to Connie, my wife, and this is for you. Thank you so much.
Happy blues.
We're going to do one by a gentleman called Bo Carter. And Bo Carter basically is a Mississippi bluesman. He was in the Mississippi Sheiks. He actually managed them. He actually had a solo career. And I'm very proud to have given to Bo Carter's basically to raise money for his memorial. We actually put that in about a year ago. And this one is called Arrangements for Me.
Yeah, baby, I'll split your kin limb. No, I'll bellow your fire. And I will fetch you water from that boggy fire. Yeah, he not telling me, baby, hair so doggone curly, and your eyes ain't blue. Yeah, that's why, little baby, I'm gonna make a fool about you. Yeah, he now tell me, sweet baby, may a man be. Before any more questions, won't you make a rain for me? Come on, baby, come on. She says I ain't good looking, and I don't dress fine. When it comes to loving, I'm gonna pacify your mind. Yeah, he now tell me, sweet baby, may a man to be. Before any more questions, won't you make a rain for me? Here's another thing, little baby, yeah, I want you to bear in mind. When I get my paycheck, I'm gonna give you my last dime. Ain't that them sweet baby, baby, be. Before any more questions, won't you make a ring for me? Come on, baby, come on, make room for daddy. I wish I was like a little fish in a deep blue sea. So a woman like you could shake a little fish in me. Yeah, ain't that tell me, sweet baby, may a man to be. Before any more questions, won't you make a ring for me? That's right, hey, come on, baby. Here comes Papa.
Thank you.
That's some serious picking. Here's an old standby from way back in the 20s. Louis Armstrong made this one famous. It's a ballad called St. James Infirmary. Well, it was down in old Joe's barroom in a corner by the square. Usual crowd was attending. Yeah, Big Joe McKinney was there. He was standing at my shoulder. His eyes were bloodshot red. He turned to the crowd gathered round him. These are the words that he said. But I went down to St. James Infirmary. I saw my baby there. She was laid out on a cold, cold white table. So calm, so white, so fair. Let her go, and God bless her.
never, never find a sweet man like me. Now when I die, please bury me in a high-top Stetson hat. Put a $20 gold piece on my watch chain. At least God'll know that I died standing pat. I want 6 crap shooters for pallbearers. I want a chorus gonna sing me a song. Put a jazz band on my old earth wagon so we can raise hell as we roll on along. Let it roll, God bless her. Wherever she may be, so you can search this whole wide world over. Never, never, never find a sweet man like me. Roll out your rubber-tired carriage. Roll out your old-time hand. 12 men going on down to the graveyard, but only 11 are coming back. Let it roll, and God bless her. Wherever she may be, you can search this whole wide world over. Never, 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 never find a sweet man like me. Now that I told you my story, take another shot of booze. If anyone should happen to ask you, well, you can tell them we got those gamblers blues. Let it roll, and God bless her. Wherever she may be, search this whole wide world over. You'll never, never, never find a sweet man like me.
You guys ready to come over and join me and do a little interview?
Sure.
I'd love that. While the guys are getting over here and getting mic'd up, let me just tell you what's going on for the next few weeks. It is the Hygienic Annual Salon de Independence. It is the 40th year of the Hygienic Show, and it opened tonight. If you want to find out more about what's going on, there's all kinds of stuff going on. There's a fashion show. There's a what?
Naked canvas.
A naked canvas. It's That's going to be wonderful. There's all kinds of stuff. There's a film viewing. There's just all kinds of stuff. Plus all the open art that's in the hygienic building. The youth art show is also going on. Check it out at hygienicarts.org and see what's going on and get out and support local artists. And you're too late to get your art in, but you can go and check out what everybody else has out there. Let's talk to the guys. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
How cool. How cool to have you back here on Grandma's Attic. Your music is so real and so roots. It's so right back to the basics of what the blues really is all about. Let me talk to you first, Frank. Let me just get you're a bit of a blues historian. Can I call you that?
I mean, I try to basically, you know, I'm a history buff, so it doesn't necessarily have to be with blues, but I love baseball, history, blues, all kinds of music. You know, I just love, I think it's very important to remember what came before you. So.
Absolutely, I agree. So what made you bring Jim into the act?
It's an interesting thing. I had stopped playing music for years, and then suddenly I went on YouTube and saw something that I enjoyed, and I said I always wanted to play that, and I went downstairs and grabbed my guitar and I practiced and finally got dexterity back after not playing for 15 years. And I was going to open mics, and I ran into Jim at the Newington Knights of Columbus, and he said, "Can you sit in?" And I said, "Sure," and we've been together since. That was almost 6 years ago.
Yeah, 5 years in September.
Jim, what made you want to get Frank to sit in with you?
Well, I was playing in a rock band for a while, and that just sort of fell apart. I've always loved the blues, and when I heard him play in guitar, it just reminded me of you know, what's his name there? Big Bill Brunsey, and the way he was playing, it's just like, and it just really struck me, and it's like, this is the kind of stuff I'd love to play. So, you know, we just started playing together, and we just kind of hit it off, and I've learned so much, you know, about all these people. I mean, as far as I was concerned, you know, Eric Clapton, you know, wrote all these songs, and he was basically a Robert Johnson cover band, you know. So then I went back and I learned all that stuff, and he started introducing me to Bo Carter and Charlie Patton and Skip James, and it's like, wow, this is the British guys learned all this stuff in the 60s and turned the Americans back onto their music. So, you know, so much, it's almost come full circle again. You know, a lot of these guys have you know, kind of gone back from rock into, you know, the blues again. And you know, we strip it down and play it the way it was written. And,
right.
You know, not precisely note for note, but, you know, you get the feel of it.
Yeah.
And it's just such a good feeling. It's such a good, you know, thing to be able to do. And, you know, there's people out there that really like it. And we're glad for those people.
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
And we obviously like it.
Let's go back. You said a name I just want to touch base on. Bo Carter. You want to talk a little bit about his history and
Sure.
what you did for him?
Yeah, so Bo Carter was they actually what they called, he wrote a song, he was called the All Around Man. And basically Bo Carter was, he was part of the Mississippi Sheiks with Sam Chapman and his brothers. And he was the manager, and he sang in on some of the songs. But he was a great negotiator. He got them to, you know, make hit records. Sitting on Top of the World was their big one. Bo actually wrote Karina Karina. That was like his most prized possession that he thought about. And, you know, to me, when I first heard him, the first thing you think about is all the innuendos that he's talking about. Mm-hmm. But when you get away from that, sort of like Frank Zappa, when you strip away the lyrics and you listen to the music, you're hearing this complex music that's coming from Frank Zappa.
Absolutely.
So Bo Carter, when you strip away the lyrics, and they're great lyrics, and they're not like anyone else from the period, and you listen to his guitar playing, it's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And that was the thing that struck me. And what happened was that they were doing a fundraiser through the Mount Zion Memorial Fund for his headstone. And we did the Stafford Springs Blues Fest. We did a bunch of things, and a lot of the times when we got our tip money or whatever, gig money, I was taking that money and I was sending it to Mount Zion Memorial. I was donating it.
Nice. I
donated my a Christmas present for myself. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what the amount was, but I was actually on the memorial that they handed out.
Nice.
Myself and Cameron Smith from Connecticut, which I actually involved Cameron in it, and he donated some money. And there was a handout, and there was actually a booklet. And I'll be it's like giving back to someone who gave me so much.
And he was this real important blues guy, and he
Sure.
was buried in an unmarked grave. And that's why this fund was created to help fund, headstones for a lot of these guys that died in obscurity and are sitting in a weedy patch somewhere. So
Died in obscurity, but yet left us with
Yeah.
such a rich collection
Oh, yeah.
of amazing music. What makes you guys decide to learn a song, or where are you finding this stuff? Is all back from before things were patented and licensed, so where are you finding all this music, and what makes you decide to do a song?
Well, as far as finding it goes, I have a collection of music that I've had for a very long time. But with that being said, it's in dust. I actually listen to music on YouTube. That's where I get it. And I usually trace YouTube to type in Charlie Patton, and it leads you down the road to a million things, to his headstone or to that. So when we talk about, I'll usually go home, and after work or something like that, I won't even watch television. I'll just put YouTube on and then just type in whatever and go from there and just watch as much as I can.
Right.
And what I'll do is I will actually watch someone perform a song or listen to what someone did, and we take it. And then it really comes down to if I can get the guitar part down, and then Jim can actually sing the song, and then we take it from there.
Nice.
And then see where we go.
Now, do all the songs that you choose, well, not all of them, but all the songs that have harmonica in them, when you play them, have harmonica in them
No.
originally?
most not. Like the St. James Infirmary, that was trumpet. Louis Armstrong played his
Oh,
trumpet.
yeah,
in
that's
that.
right.
And
Absolutely.
a lot of it, we just sort of incorporate it into, just sort of add our own, spin, coffee grinder spin.
Coffee grinder spin. We like that. We like that very much. What do you guys have coming up for gigs that people can get to?
Well, we're playing tonight in Stomping Ground, but they won't know that. But
Right. It's a little late for that.
they can go to the Coffee Grinders on Reverb Nation. You can actually type in any web browser on Google. Just type in the Coffee Grinders Blues, and blues band or something like that, and it'll take you right to our Reverb Nation. Some people don't have Facebook. We're on Facebook as well. And then from there, we have all our videos. We have we have audios that we've created, and then we actually have our listing of all the shows that we do.
Absolutely, and you can go into actually the archives of Grandma's Attic Music Review on YouTube and see you guys there too, because Frank, this is your
This will be the third time. Yep.
that you've been on my
And
show.
I was laughing because I said the first time we came it was 3.
There was
then
3
I
of
came
you.
solo, and now Jim. So
Right. So you've come full circle, and just for the record, you'll be back. I just want to tell you that.
Well, thank
Solo or?
you. No.
No. However it ends up. Let's talk a little bit, Jim. Where is your music history? Where did you start musically? When did you start playing music,
Well,
and where does that come from?
When I was a youngster, probably middle school, I always wanted, guitar, to learn to play guitar and stuff like that. And I was the youngest of 4, and it was in the 60s, and my siblings all had Bob Dylan music, Neil Young, the Lovin' Spoonful.
Wow,
And,
yep.
and so I would have to say my biggest harmonica influences are John Sebastian and Neil Young and Bob Dylan. And it wasn't until, later, listening to Zeppelin and Clapton. Clapton was a huge influence on my taste in music. Canned Heat. I just, my parents wouldn't let me get a guitar because I wasn't a very good student. So a harmonica, I could just buy, and
Right,
when I was
right.
12, I bought one and I just started playing it, and then by the time I was like 18, I realized there were different keys because I'd be playing along. It's like, why doesn't it sound right?
Right,
You know, so,
right,
so you know,
absolutely.
it was probably one of my late teens, early 20s when I started. I got to play with some other music in a band. When I first played on stage, I lived in Vermont, and I was 20, and this friend of mine was playing in a rock band up there, and they were playing Bring It On Home by Zeppelin, and they said, come up
Okay.
and play harmonica with me.
Absolutely.
And I got up and I played harmonica, and when the people started claiming, I was like, hey, I like this. So I got bitten by the bug, and so then I just always played the harmonica. I didn't play music for a long time when, you know, the kids were growing up and stuff like that. And then when I met Frank, you know, I had been playing in this, you know, rock band for a while, and I didn't even really start playing music formally till I was in my 50s. And so now it's like, you know, I don't golf, I don't play tennis. This is my outlet, my freedom.
So you've been
you know,
playing for about 3 years.
But harmonica, I've been playing, it's probably like 50 years, right? So, yeah. And it's great because I'm always learning. I mean, I love going to jams. I love, you know, I've made friends with Rich Badowski and Mike Crandall and a lot of these guys. And just, you know, we talk about, you know, it's like, how do you do that? And they've taught me a lot because I just like soak it up like a sponge and, you know, steal stuff from them. But it's all good.
It's all
you know?
good.
Borrow,
Yeah.
not
I
steal.
think,
Yeah.
I think that we find that in the Connecticut blues, I want to say society, the group of people that are involved with Connecticut blues are all very intermixed and very friendly and very supportive of each other. We see that whenever anything happens, we saw it in huge turnout when we lost Bruce.
Yes.
You know, it was just
Terrible
so many
loss,
people
yeah.
were so involved, and the support was so great. And we see that with everybody. Jake Kulak going to Memphis.
That's great. It's nice seeing some kids, you know, the Balkan
Right.
brothers and you know, Corey, whatever his name was, that was one of
Ryman,
Bruce's-
I think of Ryman or
Yeah, it's
something.
nice to see a lot of
Yep.
young people.
Yep.
Cameron Smith, it's great because so many of us are, you know, getting
No,
we're
it's
more
nice-
towards the end than the beginning. So
It's nice to see the
yeah.
kids that are vested in the blues.
Yes.
You know, you see a lot of kids going out there trying to do music, but when they're invested in the blues, you know that they're looking towards the history, they're looking towards the past, and they want to do justice to the old music.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, they don't want to just get up there and play rock and roll.
Right.
They want to get up there and do justice to the history of music, and that's what it's really all about.
see the
Frank, give us a little bit of your music history, where you came from, where it started, and what makes you so invested in the history of the blues, besides being such a history buff?
So I started playing music in 1969. I got a classical guitar. A friend of my mom's gave it to me, and I went to Belmont Records in Hartford on Washington Street. I remember, and being in a room. I don't know. It was one of those rooms that was maybe 6 feet long, and it was probably like 4 feet wide, if that. And this huge guy was sitting there, and I was a little kid, and you know, maybe 7 years old, and he was like, "Okay, this is," you know, and I was like, it was the most intimidating thing. And from there, you know, those early lessons, I struggled with playing like everyone else, and then basically, you know, took it through grammar school, high school, stuff like that. Played around and knocked around with friends and stuff like that. Played out a couple times, and what happened is I always liked the bands that lead us back to the blues. You know, Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, all those types of players introduced me to Muddy Waters, Chuck Berry, kind of, you know, like
Yep.
that piece. And then I got my first taste of Robert Johnson. And that was it. I mean, that was when I heard Robert Johnson and I started hearing some of these guys on the acoustic guitar, and, you know, just the pain and like the trueness of the sound. You know, you heard that, and then you heard the Rolling Stones do it, or you heard someone else, Led Zeppelin, do it, and it was like, it's not even close.
Right.
They're not, you know,
Well,
they're
it's a whole
doing their
different
rendition.
ballgame.
They're
Right.
doing their rendition of it, but it's like, I guess the question is this, right? I mean, these people lived it, and we're trying to duplicate it, and it's a different thing.
It's a whole different thing. It's a totally different
You know,
ballgame. and it's a different feel, and it's a different vibe. And I think that's the difference between the blues, real blues,
Yeah.
and rock and roll.
Yeah.
I think that you see that the blues really bring the flavor of emotion to the forefront.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing about it was, it was about what was going on. There was buzzwords that were being said that, you know, we think what they are, but they were something else. And that leads me into a thing that, actually I can talk about this. Jay Councilman just came out. He's a friend of mine, and he actually came out with a book, Tales of the Blues, I think it is. Mm-hmm. And basically what it is, it's great. It's different what anyone else did. What he did was he actually has a, I don't know what they call it. It's a little symbol. You click on it, it takes you to a website.
Okay.
You know, he has that in his book, and it'll take you to a Charlie Patton tune. And it'll be Charlie Patton Spoonful.
Okay.
And Spoonful is about cocaine.
Right.
So basically what he's doing is he's outlining what Charlie Patton, what he thinks was talking about within the song. Mm-hmm. And he breaks it down into poems that were used by other people about something like this. So what he's about the times too. So it's a pretty interesting book. You know, I'll give him a plug. He's a great guy. He's a friend of ours. He's always supported us, and he came last time I was here with me. And he basically has 3 blues books. He's from Connecticut, he lives in Glastonbury. J.J. Councilman, Tales of the Blues. It's an interesting read because what he's doing is he's actually taking blues lyrics by someone, and he's actually breaking it down to what it means. And a lot of times we think we know what it's about, but it's really not that. He's actually and really did his homework on a lot of this stuff, on what keywords, what they were talking about, like with My Rider. Well, people would think it's someone riding in a car. Right. It is kind of in a way, but My Rider is actually your woman. My Rider. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's, you know, those things he's actually talking about, and it's an interesting read. It's great, and you know, with this stuff you can go pretty deep. You know, I just love it. I love to play it. It gets us out of the house. We appreciate everybody who supports us, and I do have to say one thing.
Absolutely.
We do. Usually we do it every Thanksgiving. The Saturday after Thanksgiving, we do a big show at the Knights of Columbus in Newington. Mm-hmm. And we put on 4 acts. It's all acoustic blues. Mary Lou Ferrante, Robin O'Haran, Rocky Lawrence, Orb Mellon's been there. You know, we've done it. Shaka's done it. A bunch of other people. So look for that. If you like what you're hearing on the show, mm-hmm. You know, and they're talking about, you know, where to come see us, that's definitely a great event, because it's a pretty long day, but you don't have to be there all day. It's free. What we do is we do Nashville style, where we pass the hat after each
Nice, act. Nice. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for being here. Do you have a song? One quick question, and answer it quick because we're running out of time. Why the resonator guitar?
Why? Well, it has a very unique sound.
It does.
And for slide playing and stuff like that, it's tough to bring that out. You know, to play electric. In a lot of the places that we do, it's very tough because it could feedback and things like this, and it's tough to get that steel sound right. We've done it, and I figured, you know, I'd bring it today. Because a lot of people have been asking about it.
I love the sound of it, and I'm so glad you brought it. You guys are going to take us out with a song.
Sure.
Make sure you unhook before you move.
Thank you for having us.
While they're going back to get set up to take us out with some more wonderful blues music, let me just remind you all that it is winter. It is cold out. Please check on your neighbors, especially if they're elderly or have small children. Go and check on them. Make sure that they have heat. Make sure they have some food in their fridge. Make sure those kids have socks on their feet. Do what you can do to help your community, help your neighbor. Make sure that they have their needs met. Basic needs are so very important, and you'll find that in our community there are people out there that just don't have their basic needs met. So be a good neighbor. Check on your neighbors. Make sure their basic needs are met. And if you need help with that, just reach out and let people know that your neighbor doesn't have socks or your neighbor doesn't have heat. Until next week, everybody, thank you so much for tuning into the Grandma's Attic Music Review. Until next week, bye-bye and have a great time. Bye-bye.
I'm going to leave you with Muddy Waters. See a doggone thing.